All right, what's up, everybody? This is kind of a prompt two kind of thing that we're doing right now. As you can see, I'm using my mic as a hand mic because I left my wireless mics in the truck. So, all right, so this this Tuesday dump, we actually got Doc. She's in town. She's at the terminal doing her 34-hour, and we invited her over, had dinner, all that good stuff, and we figured while she was here, we would just go ahead and kind of have a conversation about her first 3 weeks. I know a lot of people are definitely curious what their first 3 weeks are going to be like. So what better than to ask somebody who's actually in her third week now how her first few weeks went. So we'll go ahead and do that. So we'll go and roll the intro for this Tuesday dump. All right. So like I said, we're going to do an interview or a prompt interview, just kind of asking Doc how her first 3 weeks went. So that last week, he got out of the truck, obviously. He went home for the weekend, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you went home for the weekend, and then you went to, it was Brownsburg for the release.
Yes.
And then, so you now got to do one of these things. And so that's where you end up getting your truck. And what kind of talk a little bit like what the release was like on Monday, and then when you actually got your first load and when you ran out.
Okay. So Monday was me and a bunch of other guys, and we all kind of just went to the terminal. There's like an hour-long presentation, kind of like, hey, you guys made it through, congratulations. We went over more information with logs. We talked with a couple different people, and then we all just kind of were assigned our trucks, and we had to do a pre-trip on them to make sure they're in working order. Kind of like anytime you're issued anything, you have to make sure it works. Then there's a road test, and they test your backing skills. And after that, depending on how many people it is that needs to be released, you may get done first, early in the morning, early Monday, and still be able to get a load. There were so many of us that most of us didn't get our load until Tuesday. So Tuesday morning, I went out and I got my first load. Went to Firestone, which it wasn't too bad, and then from there, my fleet manager made sure I got home that weekend. So it was a lot of seeing the same people that you got released with, because a lot of us were going to the same general area. So me and two other guys were both from Virginia, so I kept seeing them every stop. That first weekend, it was really nice. That first week, it seemed like everything was moving slow. So anytime I was strapping or getting my securement done, it just seemed like I was taking forever. But then when I would talk to my fleet manager, he's like, oh, no, you weren't there that long. You were actually pretty good. And I was like, oh, I thought I was taking 12 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the first week wasn't bad. It was really great. It was the second week where I started to doubt myself and have struggle a little bit.
And before she dives into the second week, I do want to say that I do want to say we actually have the same fleet manager. I think I said that in one of the videos, but she also got a Scott. So obviously I know she's in good hands because that's who I work with Scott. So obviously, and then what was the other thing I was going to talk about? Trying to remember now. There's something else. Oh, she brought up the Firestone load. It's actually in one of our vlogs where she was in the truck with me. I'll put a link up in the corner for you guys. So those of you that might have not watched the vlogs, you can go ahead and check that out. All right. So, like you were about to say, I know the first week she called me a couple of times with questions on load securement, which obviously, I expect trainees to call me because you can't cover every single load. But the second week, that's where the phone conversations were fun, because this is where you finally, and I'm just right now definitely not child approved, but that's when you had your first fuck up. Yeah. All right, that's what we call it. It wasn't an accident. It was what we call a fuck up. And then so we'll talk about that, and we'll kind of just talk about like what happened afterwards and kind of like the things you went through, because one of the things I definitely want to talk about, and that's why I want this video to be honest, is because things are going to happen when you guys are out on the road, especially when you're new, and there's a process that you have to go through, and a lot of us have had fuck ups. I mean, it happens to everybody. Luckily, what she's about to talk about is not like a super severe, but especially for new drivers, it's definitely something that's going to, you're definitely going to talk about it because I know that we had a conversation about it. So it's one of those things where it really makes your heart drop and you're just like, oh my God, it's like the end of the world. And yeah, so we'll get into your second week.
Okay. So the second week started out okay. I parked up on Monday. I had no trouble with anything like that. But what day was it? It was Tuesday, so I literally barely started the week. And I was getting parked up for the night, and of course I'm getting close to the end of my time, and everything, you're starting to rush because you're starting to panic. You're like, okay, I need to stop and worry about your hours of service. So because I was rushing, I glanced out of my side mirror, thought I had finished passing a truck, obviously did not finish passing a truck, took a left in order to make a wide right turn so I can back into a parking lot far away from everybody else. And I ended up hitting the front of the truck that I thought I had passed. So, of course, I was calm on the outside, but on the inside, like, I was completely freaked out. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get fired. It was like, I've only been in the truck for 2 weeks, not even a full 2 weeks, and I'm already messing up. So, of course, got out, called safety. The other trucker is cussing at me, and then luckily I was a girl, so he kind of calmed down a little bit.
Yeah.
So he was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't swear that hard at her. But I'm sure if I was a guy, he would have told me every name under the book. But called safety, and everybody was really understanding, and they was like, this is what you need to do, this is how it needs to handle, and it was very step by step. So the one good thing is, while you're panicking on the inside, there's somebody there that's helping you, so you don't make any big mistakes, I guess the word is. But it did, like, it hit me hard that the rest of the week I was like, oh my goodness, I'm the worst person ever. And it's different when it's all you, because when you're in training, you have that second person that's like, it's another set of eyes that can make sure you're not making those mistakes. Yeah. But of course, when you're out on your own, like, there's no second person like, hey, hold on, you're about to hit this, or you're getting too close to that, and you need to look out for stuff. So I definitely learned my lesson, but it was a big hit to my confidence level.
And so, that's the other thing that I wanted to talk about, because she ended up texting me like it was a couple of days after that, right? Yes. When we had that text message. And I mean, we talked about, the mishap and everything when it happened and all that good stuff. And, but it was a couple of days later, she texted me and she was on the brink of wanting to quit, which is completely understandable, obviously. And I mean, we talked about it, and that's one of the things, especially when you're a new driver, like, the whole, like, as a truck driver, your whole goal is essentially to get from point A to point B safely without hitting anything. Like, that is your goal. Get from this point to this point without hitting anything. And then and it sucks when you finally do, or if you happen to hit something, it really sticks with you. I mean, I can't say that I've hit anybody's truck, but I have hit things myself, and it really, I've been driving for years, but like when I was new and that happened, like I ran something over, blew a tire, stuff like that happens. And one of the good things, especially that I do enjoy about TMC, especially not to sell TMC, but just saying in general, is that's the whole point, is like safety's there to help you, and everyone has this misconception that safety's there to like just rain brimstone and fire down upon you. And yeah, obviously they're not happy that you hit something, but at the same time, you're not trying to hide it. You called, you asked for help, and that's the big thing, is always being willing to ask, or being able to ask for help when need help. And that was and then our conversation, I think after our conversation, you know, you slept on it, and then you were able to get up the next morning and be like, yeah, you know, I can do this. Because that's the thing is, not to push the vlogs, but if you guys watch the vlogs with her in it, she's a killer driver. Like, it's not, I've had moments, especially when I was a new driver, where like, I'm not gonna lie, I cried. I think I talked to you guys about it in a video before. I cried. Yep, I got it. I cried in moments where I'm like, holy cow, this is so frustrating. And it's hard when you guys first start out, but you just got to push through that the first couple of weeks. Because now you're in your third week, and so far, after not a bad first week, second week we hit something, but we didn't hit anything for the rest of the week. And now you just ended your third week. So what's your third week been like?
Third week was actually really good. I didn't hit anything, but of course someone ended up hitting me. So I felt slightly better about my fuck up, because at least I owned up to it.
Yeah.
The person who hit me didn't even own up to it. I found it the next day. But I did learn a lot with trying to, what happens when you break down. It was, you know, what you're going to have to do in order to get back going on the road, and figuring out my hours of service, because pretty much after I got hit, the rest of the week, I was chasing my clock. So it was, by the time I'd get to wherever I needed to drop off that day, I only had 3 or 4 hours left on my day in general. So I'd have to pick up and then get somewhere for the night, like within an hour or two. So that was an interesting experience, honestly, just like learning, like, because before, when you got another person, you know, if you're not close enough to where you need to be, your trainer is there to drive the rest of the way. So it was only me, so it was interesting figuring how to work my clock in order to make sure I get to where I need to be in a timely manner. But this week was actually really, it was way better than my second week, just because, like, I just had to wake up every morning and be like, I got this, I can do it, I did it yesterday, I can do it today. Yeah. And so that's kind of how I've been getting every morning, because like I said, my confidence was like in the ground, and so I'm working my way back up now. So every day I'm like, all right, I made it to here to there. All right, I'm going to do it again today. I'm here to there. Yeah. That's what I'm working on. And so this week coming, my goal is get Monday through Friday, don't destroy anything, get home safely. So.
Heck yeah. So, and so like you guys and gals, if you're watching, as you guys just saw, as you guys just heard, I mean, your first couple of weeks, they're going to be hectic. They're going to be hard. They're going to be difficult. Some people like to admit to it. Some people won't admit to it. I'll admit to it. You've heard firsthand what her first week or first few weeks were like. But that's the thing is, she had a mishap. It's unfortunate. It's one of those things that you don't want to happen. But it happened, and she was able to deal with it, get through it, get beyond it, and not let it affect her, even though, I mean, it did for that one point. But after, you know, you slept it off, and after we talked about and everything, and now into your third week, it's better. It's not the end of the world. I mean, obviously rolling a truck is kind of that. I've never done that, thank God. That's a little bit different. Kind of don't want to roll a truck, and you definitely don't want the load to come off your truck. So, hey, you didn't do those two things, so that's awesome. That's kudos. And, I mean, I talked to Scott. Scott's going to watch this video, and Scott tells me how good you're doing, and our ops manager's telling me how good you're doing. That's why, like, with your whole, again, fuck up, you didn't even have to talk to the ops manager, because you're in good hands, and we know that you can do it. And but yeah, that's pretty much about it, guys and gals. If you guys do have any questions for Doc, definitely leave it in the comments below. And then she watches the videos, she'll see the comments, and then I can get answers from Doc for you guys and all that good stuff. And oh yeah, I should have done it at the beginning of the video. Thank you for watching my videos. Now that you've watched this video, you're officially a part of the LG family. That's right, you're officially one of us. And that's super awesome. Thank you guys for being here. And you don't have to subscribe to be a part of the LG family, but it's always greatly appreciated if you did, because it helps out the channel. So thank you very much. And for those of you that are returning week after week, hopefully you guys found this video useful, especially for you new drivers. Hopefully you guys found this useful. And yeah, again, it was a prompt two kind of thing. Was not prepared for it, but yeah, I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me about it. Yeah, I mean, I know we talked about it, but at least to put it on camera to share with other people. So, but yeah, just think about it. A few months, well, in a year, you'll be training. You'll be a trainer, and you can definitely take this learning experience and be able to pass it on with your trainees. So, all right, talk to you all later. Bye.